It has arrived. The mini, it's like a beat machine with a keyboard, like a mini keyboard that you would place into the MIDI, which I have. It's downstairs. I haven't been able to pick it up because I'm still waiting for them to respond to, well, letting me know that it's down there. Amazon has already said it's arrived, it's just not here yet. So I just I think today is a good day to talk about what's going on in Maui. It's a bit of a devastation, and yeah, I think there are lots of things that are going on there. And being somebody who's a survivor themselves, I've survived many things. I'm 43. I've survived breaking a leg. So basically by breaking a leg, I've had to learn how to walk, crawl, well, crawl, walk, and then normal movements. And as you know, everybody looks at my corset or the waist trainer because this part I haven't been able to get right yet. The waist this is due to the injury that I have. I can't run anymore, so my running I know that is the problem, the cardio. I have the cable, I have a stepper, which gives me enough time, I'm able to sweat and stuff, but it's still not the same as going on long walks. With the metal in my leg, it actually stops me from doing many things. Anyway, so that's my experience. I've had many, many experiences having to survive many things in 5 different countries. Indonesia, for instance, you have water problems there. You cannot drink the water, tap water. You have to boil the water. So if you don't know that, you could get very, very sick. And thank goodness I come from a family that obviously understood that. So we boiled the water when we were living there. In Japan, you have things like regular earthquakes, and the buildings in Japan are constructed where they have springs at the bottom of most buildings, and they move according to when the earthquake happens. And then as children, I went to a Japanese school, spoke Japanese fluently as a child. We learned how to, there were drills. So we had normal drills that we would have to kind of like abide by as kids. Underneath tables, make sure you're not around any glasses. I mean, lots of things would tremor and shake, and things would break regularly. And if you know, Japan is actually on a volcano. So I lived 9 years of my life on volcanic land. So I understand, what devastations can do, and building a country back up is a very interesting thing. The Japanese are absolutely very good at building it up in a couple of months. When something is down and all the buildings have collapsed, by the time 2 weeks have happened, you can see all the construction workers are up there building and reconstructing things. So it's quite amazing how Japan has done it. Devastation with Maui is just the amount of lives that have lost. And I don't know if there were any drills. I think there were no particular drills that happened, so nobody knew what was really going on. And people have said that the water had stopped. There were no faucets that were working, so I don't know what's going on. I think there's something more to the story that we don't know about than just randomly happened. I think there's more to the story. So my heart is out for the people in Maui. I understand how it feels to be in traumatizing experiences. This is why, I keep going back and talking about having multi-skills, because now people in Maui do not have electricity, and they are now having to figure out how to fend for themselves. And thank God there are people out there helping distribute first aid kits and all those things, and food and shelter. Their island up from ground zero, unless people are prepared to help. Because everything has been, everything was burnt down. It was just, the pictures that I've seen are absolutely traumatic. Absolutely traumatic. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I mean, I would pull out my knitting needles and start finding a way to knit stuff, knowing me, or pulling out a survival kit and figuring out how to survive an emergency situation like that. Yeah, I mean, learn how to use what you have around you to reconstruct. I don't know. This might be a little bit more of a drastic situation, but it's ironic that I did bring up that what happens if electricity just kind of like disappears. You know, how will you survive? This is a survival mechanism. How do you survive emergencies? Like that's like first and foremost. And from somebody who survived more than one emergency in her lifetime, I think I've gotten it down. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I think it was important to kind of, it's a big topic right now. And lots of devastations are happening around the world. We have Russia and Ukraine. We have South Africa and earthquakes. Oh, I think it wasn't an earthquake there. I think it was more of some sort of gas explosion that happened in Johannesburg, where my parents are like living. So luckily it wasn't like throughout the whole of Johannesburg. It was just in the city area where all the taxi drivers and stuff are. And yeah, there are many things that happen around the world that not all of us are aware of. And seeing the devastations on television is one thing, but experiencing it in person is a whole different subject. A whole different subject. And I've had to start my life 25 different times over through moving different countries and leaving things behind and starting over again and making new friends. It's never an easy task. And losing loved ones in a circumstance like this it's a grieving time. Everybody's grieving. I mean, it's funny because I was like, oh no, I'm going to like go travel to Hawaii and I'm going to take my portable like equipment over and I'm going to sit on the beach and I'm going to produce music, because that was my goal. I wanted to have like a little video of me like sitting on a beach somewhere, like doing my whole like music thing and having some footage, which would be interesting. I might do that eventually, but I think right now would not be the right time to do it. Plus, travel at the moment in the United States seems a little kind of like uncertain. Like we don't know if the planes are going to stop, or if they're going to start, or if somebody's going to be screaming in the plane and then everybody has to get out. It's been a bit of an interesting experience living during this time. It's a very interesting time that we're living in. First we had COVID and people lost their jobs. I lost my job in the time of COVID because I think I was too OCD, and the company kind of like freaked out because I was a little bit more organized than they probably expected one to be. And so emergencies create situations and you have to overcome them. Like I had to learn how to create my own job. I'm self-sufficient because I was able to stand up and say, you know what? Nothing's going to take me down. I'm going to get up on my feet and I'm going to figure this out. And if you have tenacity and strength to know what you have to do in the next step to make it happen, then kudos to you, because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of strength to actually get up and just do something about it. You can't just wallow in depression. You have to do something. If I could, I would go down to Maui and help the people because I love helping. But I have a broken leg, so even trying to get on things and climb over people would be merely an impossible task. But I actually have a piece of metal between my knee to my ankle with 3 screws, so it doesn't allow me to, I'm not able to move around as much as I used to. This sort of is like a survivable, like I can do the YouTube thing. I can help people through this process. Like I said, I'm still waiting. Hopefully they have, maybe I do a second video today. So once downstairs says, okay, we have the equipment, come pick it up, I will come back up and do another video. Hopefully, maybe I can post 2 videos today, which would be kind of cool. So I'm in this position because this feels very kind of like, yeah, it's not a Western look. These are actually Indonesian masks. And I love the bamboo's everywhere, and then wood. So I'm, you know, just I feel that it's important to recognize when an emergency happens, to kind of sit down and assess yourself and identify if you were in that predicament, how would you survive. What would your survival skills be? Are you able to do something without technology? How can you survive a situation like this? I'm going to link the video below where I discussed something like very similar about surviving emergency situations and what you are able to do on your side if it were to happen. What can you do to either help people, or what can you do to build back up again from ground zero? So that's basically, you know, the portable, it's portable, you know, the reason why portability is kind of good is if you're a musician and you understand portability, you know that it's tough carrying and moving things around from show to show. So to have access to something a little bit easier to carry around and maneuver, like a portable setup, is practical. Like you can pack it up and move it elsewhere. You know, you can start from that equipment and build up your empire if you need to, if you know how to do it. So myself survived a number of experiences, and I would not be around today if it wasn't for the fact that I knew how to get up and move on and move forward and keep going, because that is a survival mechanism. If you cannot do that, then it's doomsday. You can't, it would not be, you know, you have to be strong within yourself to know that you're capable of doing it. But you have to know you can. Happy birthday to the Queen herself, Madonna. And yeah, I did a video clip of a little discussion about her too. She's a survivor. She's gone through many things. Us women have overcome a lot of stuff. Anyway, yay, it arrived. Okay, so I'm gonna do the unboxing now. I might do a video of putting them together later on, maybe not today, but I'm gonna do the unboxing so you guys can see what's going on here. So, let's do it. So it's from Amazon. They're not paying me, none of these companies are paying me. I make money on Poshmark and whatnot. So if I have a little bit of money left over besides buying other like clothing and pieces, then I go ahead and organize music equipment if I'm able to afford it at the time. Now, when I was at Guitar Center, I was able to, it's like I got, I don't know, like 20% off. Sometimes you can still get 20% off at Guitar Center if you get like discounted slips. I just haven't gone back to Guitar Center because I can get everything on Amazon and it's easier. So here it is. Arturia Mini. It's called an Arturia Mini Lab. So this was like $88 or $89. I think they have two different colors. I wanted the black because I have all this white material. I'm about color coordination. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I'm gonna use this as our little table. Okay. So we're gonna open this up and see how this thing works. I don't know if I wanna plug it in yet, but maybe we can. Let's see what we got here. What are the possibilities? I don't want to destroy the box. Let's see if it's, oh, okay. Okay, so what we got here is, here's a cable. Maybe I could plug it into my, okay, here's a cable. Always need cables. This is the stuff that I was trying to like escape from. Like, can you do this stuff? USB cable, of course. So you plug this into like the laptop, the iPad. This plugs into an iPad, I gather. Hopefully it does. If not, I can find another extension. You could probably find another extension. I'm gonna have to check this out with my husband today, but I'll have to find, I'm thinking I might need another extension for this. But you can get extra extensions for these. Once you understand how to put things together, you'll see that there's certain things you can do. Oh, well, here's a, yeah, I'll have to see. I'll have to see how this works. And it's relatively light, but it's portable, so you could probably get a little bag for this. And it has, so it's called a mini lab. I think I had another one, a Lasis at one point, but I never really used it. I was more, you know, I was teaching at the time a lot more. And because of that, this is kind of cool. There's like a wood, kind of like a wood feel to the side. It's pretty solid. That's what it looks like. It's relatively small, but it seems to fit the fingers, which is useful. And it has, from what I'm feeling right now, if you're a piano player, it actually has a bit of weight. And when I play piano, usually the keyboards that I have weighted keys. This is pretty close to a weighted keyboard. I like how that feels. That's pretty nice. And then obviously you can create beats on there. So this is the beats and this is the sound adjustment. So you can adjust the sound. So once you get like the certain parts and layers to the track, you can go back in and probably even adjust it on here. Obviously the instruction book is important. Okay, so it's installing, so you have to download it the same way as the Yamaha AG06. You have to go in, download, install. I think a lot of these extensions, you have to install them into your computer. So I'll have to go in and reinstall. This is why I've been delaying in it, but I'm gonna have to reinstall the Yamaha AG06 into my iPad. So I think I just wanted to wait for this to arrive so I can actually have a setup and then be able to kind of develop from there. So this cable goes in here. Yeah, I think I might need an extension for this because it's gonna be too big for the iPad. And then just for my safety's sake, because I am using an iPad, and this is it's just a cover, so it's a little bit more secure. I think you can actually use this. Let me just see. Oh yeah, and this stands up. This is great. So this can stand up. That's cool. I was actually concerned about that. So you can have a cover that has that capability for the iPad as well. That clips back off, or it can be in your handheld. So that's what I was gonna do. So I'm pre-planning everything here before it actually starts happening. Once again, going back into this, we'll talk more about how to install it later. What is this over here? Oh, this is a strap for here. So you strap this on, so you can even walk around with it, literally portable. Okay, so we'll get into setting it up. We'll do a setup on the next video, but you can see I just did a slight unbox here. So this is the Mini Lab, and I'll send you the link if you guys are interested. Mini Lab Universal Mini Controller. So it's a mini controller, which is great. So you could do all of that stuff that I've been doing on my keyboards straight onto the Logic, because I'm focusing on trying to use the Logic Pro X on the iPad, right? So that's where portability comes in. Okay, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's just the starting point. So this is just a brief unboxing. That's a brief unboxing. Okay. And like and subscribe, and I will start putting it together next. Matashita sayonara, arigatou gozaimashita. And jana, bye-bye.